Hey, welcome to lesson number 5 of the Easy Outsource to the Philippines free full course here on YouTube. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to delegate tasks effectively to your VA. So essentially, we're going to understand how to map the process out so our VA, virtual assistant, understands it and knows how to act upon it easily. We're going to show it in this lesson. As I mentioned, this course, Easy Outsource to the Philippines, is a practical course that teaches you everything you need to know about hiring, training, and delegating tasks to virtual assistants from the Philippines. Of course, as usual, we have the playlist link down in the description. And in the end of each lesson, we're going to have a link to each lesson here on YouTube. And of course, there's a special offer down in the description for all our viewers. And my name is Vova Evan. It's great to meet you. I'm a seller on Amazon since late 2016. I run this YouTube channel and I have a special guest today. Barak Almog is my mentor for hiring virtual assistants. He really helped me with this, honestly, to kind of free up myself. And we've been working together for over a year. He's owner of SellerFrame, which is an agency that helps systemize and outsource for your e-commerce business. Barak, welcome, man.
Hey, Boba, thank you.
These dramatic entries each time.
I love it. We're lesson 5 from 6. We had quite a stretch, and I think this first lesson are magnificent. Like I always say, if you didn't watch them, you should definitely halt this video and go watch the first 4 lessons. They're great. Boba said, you said correctly that we're going to discuss how to map our tasks to processes. And the reason we want to map, first of all, we lay down a lot of background work, right? We created the ClickUp wiki and task management and everything. And now is the time to actually transfer our work to the infrastructure that we created. And the reason we want to do it, then we need to do it, is because if we rely on our VA's memory, they kind of send them a video or just explain to them in person and then rely on their memory, they will not perform consistently. You know, there will be a drift in the way that they perform the task over time. We need to map our processes to a series of steps. So to make sure that they do them right every time, 100% of the time in the same way, and we don't need to be there, right? We don't need to be in the details. What I wrote here, I said that, remember, before you hire a follower, make sure that you understand the process well. This lecture about the process, about how we break down the model, and whatever the function it is, could be customer service or product research or bookkeeping or video editing or anything else that you want to transfer ownership to your VA, breaking down that model to a process or several processes and then documenting SOPs. I don't want to say it's an art form, but it kind of takes a little bit of experience and you're going to get better at it with time. So that's why I suggest that when you do that, when you start, this lecture, start small. That's the last element that we see here in the graph, in the chart. It's the SOPs. And what we're going to see in this lecture is how I map processes to SOPs and then how I let my VA do it. This is actually the previous interface of Google Sites, which is no longer available. And this is the customer service SOP. So you can see it in the new Google Sites interface. We got it here. You see the process is kind of laid down for a VA. If I have someone that does customer messages for me, then I know that every day when they log in, they start their shift and then they have to reply to messages. The first thing that they do, log into Wiki, and then they read and refresh their memory what they need to do. So we got a set of steps here, log into Amazon Seller Central, check for new messages, reply to them one by one. Here we got cases. So for example, maybe the customer, we got an autorespond, like I'm on vacation or something like that. Yeah, there it is, autoresponder. Then the VA knows what to do. And maybe it's a special case. And I'm actually not going to go into that, but
it's very step by step. Everything is clearly mapped out and really easy to understand, right? For those who are watching. I mean, if a virtual assistant comes in, he has everything mapped. Like it's easy to understand. He doesn't need to guess.
And I'll tell you something else. I mean, I actually instructed my VAs to work with SOPs open, especially in important processes, like, for example, shipping plan. You got a VA to create shipping plan for your Amazon, one of the products, then you want them to open the process and work with the process in front of their eyes. You don't want to make mistakes. So even if they think that they know the process, I would tell them, open the process anyway, open the SOP anyway. Here you can see templates for replying to messages. So again, this is also in the wiki. Okay, so how do we map a process into an SOP? This is also a process. So first, I'm going to show you how I do it. So the first thing that I do, I would choose a task that I want to delegate. I'm going to wait until I actually have to perform the task. Let's say that Bova, want to delegate a task of how he keyword research for his videos. Then if you try to conjure it, get it from memory, then you might not get it right. But if you're actually going to do it, then you're going to get all the steps. Then I'm going to record myself performing the task. Again, it's a live task. I'm actually doing it. And I'm going to explain the steps, even if I'm talking to myself. The next thing I'm doing is watching the recording, and I'm going to document the steps. Don't need to have it like, every small detail. You just need to have like the manual, the recipe, how to do it. The last thing I'm going to do is work once with the SOP open and fix what needs fixing. Done. We got an SOP. I'm going to tell you something. First of all, we're going to see soon how we give how we let our VA do the SOPs for us. But I'm actually keeping SOPs even for things that I don't give to my VA, because it kind of clears your mind. So if you do something every, month, like documents for your accountant or something like that, then I want to have that thing mapped, documented. So I keep SOPs even for myself, even if the VA is not involved. So a process example is creating Amazon post. Amazon post is kind of Amazon's version of Instagram. It's just inside of Amazon platform. So Amazon sellers upload posts regularly because they want customers to, follow them and consume their content. If we're going to see how this post, I actually have this handout here. This is the Amazon post, posting regularly in Amazon post, and it's an SOP. It's kind of fancy. You don't need to have fancy format like me. Just keep it textual, but the idea is the same. It just kind of outlines to the VA how they need to prepare the content, how to post it.
Do we have this handout we can share it in the description, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We're going to have a link to Amazon posts handout SOP, so you can see how an SOP is built, so you can kind of get the understanding of, wait, I want to map a process, give me an example, or there it is. You can download it in the description.
And I gotta say that for me, I kind of tested it. I wasn't 4.5 years ago, I wasn't sure how to do it, and my processes were too fancy and cumbersome, and I had to do it as simple as possible. So how was this SOP made? I recorded a short video for my VA. I asked her to document an SOP in 3 parts. I asked that she'd perform the task a couple of times and fix if needs. Okay, I actually did the fix. It took her about 2 hours of work. And at the time, she used to make $3 an hour. So $6 it cost me to map an SOP. And it's not something that you need to do. Your VA should do it. In this case, my VA was already experienced with the task. She knew how to do it. So documented the task took her short time. But if she's less experienced, it might take a little longer. Once you start doing it, you're kind of going to get the sense of it. So a faster approach to SOP mapping is, like I said, use your SOP, use your VA to map the process. So we choose the task that we want to delegate. We wait till we have the same thing. Wait till we have to perform the task. We record ourselves, same thing, performing the task, explaining the steps, and we ask our VA to watch and learn the task. After that, we get some time, to answer their questions. And once they understood everything, we let them document the task. And there you go. You have a new SOP, which we didn't really work for. We didn't type it. I'm actually going to make it even a bit easier for you. One of the things you can do is go live with your VA, like, for example, with a Zoom meeting, record it and explain to them in action what you're doing, and then give them access to the recording and tell them, all right, and now, now we went over the process. Now you're going to document it, please.
Right. Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah. So this really saves some time. I'm going to repeat here on something that I showed before. And this is, again, a inventory restock process. I mean, even if for some reason you didn't see the previous video, this is, like I said, it's something that's going to blow your mind. It's a talk of Ova and myself about how to create good inventory restocking process, both in your task management and in your wiki. It's 1.5 hours because there is a lot of detail. if you're new to this world, going to change how you look at it. Again,
yeah, you can take it to your own field. You know, maybe you're a person is watching now and you are doing some other business, or you don't need this specific process, but you can watch to understand how it's done, to understand all the system of how to create your own process. I think it's very valuable. We're going to have a link to this video down in the description.
Exactly. This is something that, I mean, if even if you don't do restocking or even e-commerce or Amazon, this is still going to teach you a lot of tactics and, you know, practices and BKMs, how to create your own perfect processes. Really, really valuable. I think this is maybe the last or almost finish here for this slide. So training and transferring ownership. Here's how I'm doing it. Okay, I got a new task and I got an SOP. So let's say even your VA left, but you still got the SOP, you got the wiki, and you got a new VA, you want to teach them on that SOP. So how do you give them, you know, how do you transfer their ownership? So the first thing you want to do, you want to let your VA learn the task. You give them access to the SOP. They read it. Maybe they watch a video. Maybe you got a video recorded also. Then you're going to meet with them and screen share, and you're going to demonstrate yourself doing the work, actually handling the SOP. And your VA will ask questions, you're going to answer them. Once that meeting is finished, you're going to give your VA another 1 day or 2 days, I don't know how much they need to learn the SOP. Then you meet and you screen share again. This time your VA performed the task, and you're going to be the one that's watching. You might need to fix the SOP, maybe add some details, or maybe some things are not completely cleared. If they still didn't get it 100% right, give them more time to learn it, and then meet again and try it again until they get it right. When they did, you transfer ownership. That's their SOP. That's their responsibility from now on. You just need to follow up closely for the first 2 or 3 weeks to catch and fix issues early. And again, guys, this is something that you at first kind of might seem overwhelming, a lot of like text and stuff, but it gets easier. And once your VA starts to take ownership of tasks, and I mean, this is magic. Vova can testify, right? When your VA starts doing the editing and you don't need to do it yourself anymore, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, you nailed the process in the beginning. It's not from the first day it's going to be perfect, as you mentioned. Although, honestly, if you do the process right, if you map a good process, if you hire an A player, hopefully, then it catches up really fast without problems. All right. So, but still, you got to see how it goes, you know, kind of be with the person, but then it just frees you up from this task completely. You know, Jeff Bezos does not manually check sellers that want to sell on Amazon. He has people doing that. He actually has, wow, he's insanely systematic person, but you can be a little version of this to start and then grow, right?
I mean, like that moment when your VA gets it right, and you sit there, the understanding strikes you. Hey man, I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't need to cut fillers in my videos. I don't need to answer customers' messages anymore, because that's it. He got it right, or she got it right, and you're free from that. And this is magic. That's where all of everything that we did when we talked about comes, you know, pays off. I think that's the last slide. What else can VA do for us? Well, there's a bunch of examples of complex tasks here that VAs do for our customers and for myself. Let's just move on. Action item, get in hand the task list that you created in the first video. If you didn't watch the first video, just go and watch the first video and second and so forth. For each one, document an SOP according to the flow, okay? And that's it. Hopefully you got the VA, and if you do, train and delegate those tasks to them. And I remind you that I'm here for you. I mean, I'd be happy to hear from you. Just talk to me. This is, by the way, just WhatsApp, not phone. Talk to me, you know, and if you have any questions, you want to consult with me about anything, just like reach out to me and I'd be happy to help. And the next lesson is going to be how to make the most out of your investment. It's going to be a short lesson, a few management and leadership practices and tips. That's it.
Yeah, it's going to appear here on the screen now. You can click on it to go to the next lesson, where you're going to learn how to make the most out of your investment with a virtual assistant. Of course, all the handouts, slides, everything you mentioned, and all the links, and the special offer is in the description for you. Remember that, and we're going to see you in the next video. So it's up here on the screen. Click on it, and let's go and see each other there.